Hello, beautiful people, or maybe people in your sweatpants. However you're showing up today, we love to see it. My name is Julia Kelly, also known as Your Mom's Horoscope, and today I'm actually going to be sharing a horoscope looking at January and what we have going on for the rest of the month. I know we are already well into January and we've already seen a lot of things play out, but this is going to be a look at the rest of the month and how this is leading into some of the energies we'll see later this year and into February. I haven't been on YouTube that much lately, but I want to start doing a monthly horoscope, maybe even some weekly horoscopes, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so before we dive into the actual transits, I did pull some tarot cards here just to kind of get an understanding or an approach, an entryway into discussing some of the bigger things that we have going on right now. We have the moon reverse coming up, and this makes so much sense. The moon reverse deals with the shadow self. It deals with things that we are waiting to uncover and hard truths about ourselves. And the way that I'm reading this and what we have going on right now astrologically, there is a big sense of looking at our shadow, not just individually, but collectively. We have the Pluto return of the United States going on through this year into 2023. There is a return of the United States shadow. And in other words, this is a lot of what we're seeing playing out right now. And through the next year or couple years is understanding what does it mean to be in the country that you live in, whether that be in the United States. Obviously, the Pluto thing is specific to the United States, but the moon reversed here is talking about understanding the context of who you are in a society, in a community, where you are, and how your shadow is reflected in the shadows around you, or how the greater shadow is reflecting your own shadow. So this is an important time for us to be looking at where we are neglecting parts of ourselves or where we aren't being honest enough with parts of ourselves. Now, the next card here is the Three of Swords. If y'all have seen the Three of Swords before, you know what this means. The Three of Swords deals with heartbreak, it deals with endings, it deals with grief. What this is talking to me about is how right now we have so much endings occurring simultaneous to new beginnings, and a lot of the endings or the grief that we might be experiencing right now could be related to something that has happened from COVID or from any of the events that we've been seeing playing out in 2020 and into 2021. But overall, this is a collective time to realize that every expectation we have set for our life may not be coming true right now, or it may not be playing out in the way that we had ideally thought of. But this is a time to allow yourself to just grieve whatever it is that you are feeling, however you're feeling in the current context of where you're living. This is a time to just be understanding that people are going through similar things right now, and whatever you're suffering with or struggling with, you're not alone. And then lastly here we have the Strength reversed, and this is a powerful card, and especially as it relates to what we have going on this month. We have a full moon in Leo on the 28th. The Strength card is associated with Leo. Having the Strength reversed, this is a build up to getting back into your own power. If you felt out of power recently because of things outside of your control, this is a reminder that we can only control what's in our control. And that is a segue into talking about some of the transits that we have going on this month. Now, I want to say, this month has a lot in store. We've, again, already seen things play out. The day that Mars entered Taurus at 0 degrees after being in Aries for 6 months, we had the raids of the Capitol. Now, that's a taste of what we can expect with Mars and Taurus. I'm not going to lie. We have some more buildup coming with Mars and Taurus as it gets really close to Uranus and then comes conjunct with Uranus this month. So some of what we've already seen play out this month is just an indicator of the overall tension or the underlying energy that we have going on this year, but especially this month as Mars is moving through Taurus. Additionally, this month we've already had Venus move into Capricorn and Mercury move into Aquarius, which just happened on the 8th. So this is quite a change in energy from Venus in Sagittarius to Venus now in Capricorn, and then from Mercury in Capricorn to Mercury in Aquarius. I will say a lot of what we're experiencing right now is a buildup for all of the Aquarius energy that we have this year. Jupiter and Saturn are both transiting Aquarius. Jupiter is going to take a short stint to Pisces, and then it's going to go retrograde into Aquarius, and then at the end of the year it will move back into Pisces. But for the most part, through 2021, Jupiter and Saturn are in Aquarius, and they will be squaring Uranus, or Uranus will be squaring Aquarius, and Uranus is in Taurus. That is the big theme that we have going on on in 2021, and we're going to see that already start to play out right now. And over the next couple of months, as the other planets, the Sun, Mercury, and then Venus all transit Aquarius. So right now, Mercury has just moved into Aquarius, highlighting or expanding that Aquarian energy that we already have with Jupiter and Saturn there. The Sun will enter Aquarius on the 19th, and then we have Venus entering Aquarius on February 1st. So all of that said, when we think about Aquarius energy, it deals with ideas, it deals with information, it deals with thinking about the big picture of something and then making a plan and then making it happen. This is a time to be thinking about your plans and what you can control. And I want to emphasize that what you can control again. We had that again just as a theme with the strength reversed here. The theme of controlling what you can control is big this month. One of the overall things we've been experiencing for the past 2 years, from 2020 into 2021, is Capricorn and Aquarius energy. Both are ruled by Saturn traditionally. There is a shift from Capricorn energy to Aquarius energy, or an earth expression of Saturn to an air expression of Saturn. Saturn deals with restriction, regulation, rules, and regiments. So when we think about Saturn moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, it's taking things that might have been controlling us or that we were not able to control and putting it into this air energy, which now allows us to think outside of the box with Aquarius. So this month we still have this ray of planets on Capricorn, highlighting the things that we've learned over the past year, the lessons that we've learned, and also again, as we have the Sun in Capricorn, and as Venus just entered Capricorn, and we have a new moon in Capricorn on January 12th through the 13th, the Capricorn energy and the Aquarius energy are very, very strong this month. When we think about how we can work with these, this is a time for the next 2 weeks, really this week right now as I'm posting this, this is a great time to take your ideas, think big about what you can accomplish inside of the constraints of what you can control, and then put them into action. Make a plan that's practical. Capricorn likes to work with practicality. It sets high standards and high goals, but only for things that it knows it can achieve. So with Venus, the planet of values, when we think of Venus in Capricorn, it's asking us to take things seriously. It's asking us to make things practical, but to not give up on the things that we desire. When we think about Mercury in Aquarius, again, it's asking us to have a big picture plan, to look at the biggest picture of what is going on. So overall, this is a great time right now, again, as we move through this new moon energy on the 12th through the 13th, new moon in Capricorn. This is a good time to really sit down and write out your intentions, write out your resolutions if you haven't already, write out the things that you can control. Don't get caught in what you cannot control. There's a possibility of expectation hangovers right now because we are going to be dealing with this Uranus energy between Taurus, a fixed sign, and Aquarius, a fixed sign. And I'll talk about what that means. So let's talk Uranus. Uranus is an outer planet. It deals with rebellion, with revolution, with radical change, and with unexpected events and the nervous system. And yes, those are connected. When we think about Uranus and Taurus, where it has been for a little bit of time now, Taurus is a fixed earth sign. Taurus likes to have a plan, stick to it, and it does not like to veer off course. Uranus loves to veer off course. That's kind of its purpose. It changes the road. It changes the map. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. Uranus will be squaring the planets in Aquarius this year. And again, we have Jupiter and Saturn moving through Aquarius. And then over the next couple of months, we have the Sun that will move through Aquarius, Mercury moving through Aquarius, and then Venus in Aquarius. So as we are building up to this stellium in Aquarius, Uranus will be squaring these planets, and then simultaneous to that, we also have Mars moving closer and closer to Uranus, and then Mars squaring the planets in Aquarius. Now, that's a lot of talk right there. What does it mean? Uranus, again, deals with radical change, rebellion, revolution. When we think about Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn deals with restriction, regulation, as I mentioned. It deals with breaking things down into little pieces or separating things so that we can move forward or so that things can end in order for other things to begin. At the same time, Saturn is also a planet that does not like to break things down or does not like to change things if it doesn't think they need to be changed. And when we think about Saturn being the traditional ruler of Aquarius, Aquarius has this side that is expansive, again, thinking of the future, new solutions, new ideas, which we're going to see a lot of this year. A lot of working around problems in order to find new solutions because we have to. The other side of Aquarius is that it's a fixed sign and it's ruled by Saturn, which means that when Aquarius energy is stuck on something, it does not like to be pushed around. It does not like to have to change its mind. When we think about this Aquarius activation, this is a period of time where if you are stuck in one way of thinking, you are probably going to be forced to challenge your perception by looking at other opinions. And this is where we have a really great opportunity with this Aquarius energy to be thinking about, again, new perceptions, new ideas. How can we incorporate other opinions? But because we have that fixed energy with Aquarius, a lot of people will also be experiencing being stuck in one opinion, not wanting to comply, not wanting to open up a conversation. I talked a little bit about with the Aquarius energy and with Uranus and Taurus, but let me get more specific on what that means. So again, when Mars moved into Taurus, the day that it moved into Taurus, that is when we had the raids at the Capitol. This does not mean that Mars moving through Taurus is just going to be an entire shit show, but I'm not going to act like it's not going to be a shit show and that there's not a potential for more of what we've already seen. Mars is the planet of violence, of weapons, of anger, of aggression, and of action. Uranus is also a planet of action. Again, Uranus is the planet that rebels. It doesn't comply. It goes against what's supposed to be done. It paves a new path. As we have Mars, a planet of action, and Uranus, a planet of action, moving through a fixed sign that does not like to take rapid action, Taurus, as Mars gets closer to Uranus, we should expect to see more events play out that may be surprising or may seem to be unexpected, but are likely probably pretty predictable with a lot of what we've seen go on in 2020 and already in 2021. Now, what I don't want to say this to entice any fear. Obviously, no one wants to see anything remotely close to what we just saw happen at the Capitol happen again. But again, I'm not going to lie, Mars is the planet of violence, of weapons, and it is moving closer to Uranus. It comes exactly conjunct with Uranus on January 20th, Inauguration Day. Now, you can already piece together that this is pretty big. I am not going to make any wild predictions here, but there are a lot of astrologers that are talking about how this presidency right now is not as stable as it may appear to be, and obviously we've seen this already playing out with the not so easy transition of power. When we think about Mars and Uranus coming together, it is all about power. Now, again, not only do we have Mars coming conjunct with Uranus, but we also have Uranus forming a square with Jupiter, and then Mars forming a square with Jupiter not long after. Uranus will square Jupiter, or rather Jupiter will square Uranus on the 17th of January, and then shortly after the Mars-Uranus conjunction on the 20th, Mars will square Jupiter on the 23rd of January. During this period of time, really from the Jupiter-Uranus square on the 17th, but even just right now, we again can expect to see some events play out that may seem unexpected, and there may be violence involved or riots or anything that ensues chaos. These two planets coming together are very chaotic. Now, again, that's not to say that that's the only thing we can expect. I will say as well, we have this Jupiter square between Uranus. Jupiter is a planet that expands, it's a planet that grows, it's in Aquarius, it's thinking of new ideas. Having this square happen, this is likely to be a time where there might be a proposed solution to something. It might feel like we have a breakthrough around the 17th of January, or really up until then with this new moon in Capricorn on the 12th too. There's a sense of new energy in the air, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can feel it. There's a sense of new energy, not just because it's a new year, but because we have these new planets, or these planets moving into a new sign, again, Jupiter and Saturn having moved into Aquarius. There's a sense that something's around the corner. Now, this month, there's a lot of that coming to the surface, And so we'll see over the next couple of months, really through 2021, we're going to see a lot of new ideas, a lot of solutions to problems, a lot of maybe new technology, something like Clubhouse becoming really popular, the app Clubhouse. That is the most Aquarius thing ever. It's literally people in rooms talking to each other. Aquarius is an air energy that deals with community. So I would not be surprised if we see more things like that come out, new technological solutions to the isolation that we're experiencing right now. But again, simultaneous to that, we have Uranus squaring Saturn this year, and we have Uranus squaring Jupiter starting this month, and then we have Mars moving over Uranus. This is a period of time where we're going to have back and forths. We come up with a solution, we see a solution, and then we have to rework it, we have to move backward. If we can go into this month in January and move through it into February and set up the tone for the rest of the year, I think the one thing that I would say is to know that we probably will have setbacks. We probably will not see much progress this year when it comes to finding real sustainable solutions. Again, we are going through the Pluto return of the United States. This is not something that's happening overnight. Pluto moves very slow. This is happening over the next few years. This year, we also had the Saturn return of the World Wide Web of the internet. That happens later this year. So there's a lot of things that are being undone or reworked so that they can be put together in a new way. This year, and really this month, we're seeing this already come up. If we expect things to move forward very progressively, we're going to set ourselves up for failure. If we expect that we're going to have a lot of contradiction, more opposition between ideas, more opposition between political parties or whatever it is, we're going to continue to see this stuff this year, and if we can expect that, then we're on the edge of this energy, meaning then we can prepare in the right ways. And as we have Mercury moving through Aquarius at the end of the month, it is going to go retrograde. Yeah, we have another Mercury retrograde coming. Don't act surprised, it happens multiple times a year. But this is the first retrograde of the year. It's happening at the end of the month. It's happening a week after Inauguration Day. This Mercury retrograde at the end of the month is going to be a period of time as Mercury moves backwards through Aquarius after moving direct through Aquarius. It will be moving backwards until February 20th. This Mercury retrograde is going to be a period of time where we are forced to look at the opinions that we hold and what value they serve, not only in our own lives, but also in the collective life. Aquarius energy is very communal, it's very collective, it's thinking about the bigger picture. So this is a period of time with Mercury, again, moving through Aquarius and then going retrograde through Aquarius, where we are thinking about how our opinions, our values affect the people around us and vice versa. Many people are probably going to experience feeling very stuck or very one-sided on an opinion. Aquarius energy can be very controversial or very contradictory in a sense where, again, if someone is very stuck behind an opinion just because that's their opinion, it's going to be hard to get them out of that opinion. And we're likely going to see this play out on a collective level, in addition to the collective transits that we have going on this month. Closing out this January reading, one of the things that we can do to prepare ourselves for the rest of the year, again, as we still have this Capricorn energy present with the Sun in Capricorn until the 19th, and with the new moon in Capricorn on the 12th, and with Venus in Capricorn now, this is a time to sit down, write out your goals, take yourself seriously, sit down and think about what you can achieve even if society is going through a midlife crisis. Think about what you can control. Don't try to control things that are outside of your control, and don't set expectations that are not practical, because they're going to bite you in the ass if you do. And that's what we see with this Capricorn energy. And as we build up for this Aquarius energy, and as we go through these Uranus squares, expect some chaos this month. We may see some more public events play out that, again, may seem unexpected, may even be violent. Take precautions, stay safe, be aware of what's going on around you as much as you can, and just stay sane and take care of yourself. At the end of the month, again, we have Mercury going retrograde. Mercury is going retrograde right after a full moon in Leo. My guess with this full moon in Leo moving into a Mercury retrograde is that this is going to be an exhausting time at the end of the month. I think we're probably going to experience the climax of a lot of things going on through the next few weeks, and then at the very end of the month, I think we're going to experience a big release of energy. This is going to be a time from the full moon into Mercury retrograde where it's really important to rest, to get sleep, to take care of yourself. I know that I am definitely looking ahead and thinking about how I can already set myself up for success for the end of the month because, yeah, the energy has been crazy. It is important to take care of yourself even if there's a lot going on outside of us. Mercury retrograde will really be all through February, so know that as Mercury goes retrograde, this is not the best time to sign contracts. This is not the best time to do things rapidly, but I do think that this is going to be a very optimistic time for reframing the way we view situations. If you have a big perception shift this month into next month, allow it to happen. Trust that you can hear someone else's opinion or you can expose yourself to new ideas without it going against your values or what you stand for. And overall, with all this Aquarius energy, lean on community, connect with people you love. Hopefully by the end of this month, we have the Strength card going upright. Thanks for watching. If you like this, let me know. I, again, will probably continue doing these monthly readings. If you're watching this right now and I still have this deal available, I am doing a 2021 video recorded reading promotion. I will have this up on my website until the spots are full, but the link is also below if you're watching this on YouTube. Thank you and see you next month, if not before then.